Hey, we're here with Mario with SmartPlug EV, a Tesla authorized electrician that you've done like so much work to my house, I think like 3 or 4 different times. But I thought it'd be a fun video to ask him all the different myths, or 5 myths about like Tesla charging, and have him like bust it through those different things. So first, before we get into it, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name is Mario, and I'm one of the owners for SmartPlug LLC. Yeah, master electrician, Tesla certified, and EV nerd.
I love it. And this is actually the 3rd video of our 3 videos. The first 2 were about like how to get $4,000 for a panel upgrade for your house through SoCal Edison in different areas of Southern California. The second one was about common mistakes that people make with home electric charging, and this is the 3rd video. So the first myth that I wanted to ask is, or at least from what the internet says, is, quote, you need to upgrade your entire electrical service to install a Tesla charger. What do you think about that? I
want to say 99% of the time that's incorrect. There is that one, very slight chance that your house is so outdated that it wouldn't be able to handle it. There's other solutions. Obviously, it's always an option to upgrade, and obviously we're here for that. But there is Tesla has monitoring systems now, which is awesome. So I've done it to where the whole house uses 60 amps, but it can send a full 48 amp load to the charger because the Tesla monitoring system knows when the usage is not being used. Overnight, when you're sleeping, you send the full power to the vehicle. And the cool thing about Tesla's monitoring system is inexpensive compared to everything else on the market, and it varies, right? So if you're using half the power, then half the power gets sent to the vehicle, which is great.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And how much more is that, or how complicated is that install versus like just putting it onto your panel?
It's literally a monitoring system, so it fits within all the infrastructure that's already in place. That's what makes it inexpensive. Okay. It fits inside your panel, the monitoring system itself, and it just wires that talk to the charger directly. So it tells the charger how much power is available, so it can draw that much power out to your vehicle.
Gotcha. Interesting. But I mean, the first video we talked about how like SoCal Edison, and in case you didn't watch it, SoCal Edison will give money to people to upgrade their panels so that they can upgrade their chargers, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that you wouldn't need that in that case, but when you do need it, it's typically the cost for that additional cost is about $500.
Oh, okay.
Which
nice.
beats the $4,000 panel upgrade.
Sweet. So the second myth is every 250 volt outlet can charge a Tesla at full speed.
Oh, that's a huge myth, and that's the one I run into a lot, and that's the one that I'm really careful with all of my clients, because they think it's like, well, it's charging now, you're probably trying to upsell me. We're not the type of people that try to sell. We're the type of people that try to help and keep people safe, right? That's ultimately what our goal is to keep people safe. So yeah, definitely not every 240 volt outlet can charge at full capacity. They sell adapters on Amazon, which is scary, right? Because the numbers on those plugs is one says 30, one says 50. Well, it's actually 30 amp rated, but you're turning it into a 50 amp rating, so therefore confusing the vehicle, telling it that it can draw more than it actually has available to it. And the weakness there becomes in the wiring, right? So the wiring is only listed for 30 amps, and you're drawing 48 amps through it, it can get scary.
Oh, so even though if like the plug fits, it might not have like the bones to be able to support that power transfer, and you could be running a dangerous...
That's exactly it. That's a perfect way to describe it. It's that was designed for 2 or 3 hours of use max. Most home appliances have a usage rating of 2 to 3 hours, whereas EV charger has a usage rating more of an industrial setting, which is an 8-hour to 10-hour use, sometimes 12 if you have a bigger battery like these things.
Gotcha. So the only way to kind of figure out is to kind of like dissect the plug and see what type of wire gauge, and then figure out from there. But you might as well hire an electrician at this point to kind of like inspect. You don't know.
Want to risk your life with that stuff, definitely hire somebody to take care of that for you.
I love it. So number 3 is home charging is much slower than public superchargers, so it's not worth it. I
would say that's a huge myth because no matter how efficient it is to charge at a supercharger, it can be 3 or 4 times the cost. Depending on the time of day. And the beautiful thing about charging from home is you can schedule your charge, and therefore buy the electricity at a lower rate and store it in your vehicle and use it at a lower rate. So it's definitely way more efficient to charge while you sleep, because you're at home at least 8 hours, and most vehicles will charge in 8 hours. And wake up to a full charge every morning. That's definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, and like a bunch of utility companies now have different rates depending on, once you tell them you have an electric vehicle, so it'd be cheaper overnight.
Exactly, yeah. So I normally advise on that, and that's where our expertise in EVs comes from, is we've been doing this for quite some time. So most electric companies have a lower rate for electric vehicles. You let them know that you have an electric vehicle and they have a certain rate, and obviously once you have your charger installed, it can be programmed to accommodate those times when there's a lot more affordable rate.
Yeah, and that's actually like probably why I like you so much, where one of the differences that you have is because there's a ton of electricians out there, but not all of them own electric vehicles and understand the lifestyle, the culture and everything. But you have like what, 5 EVs?
We're up to 7 now. But yeah, we love EVs, and been making that transition ever since 2014, and our education is our thing. We like to be educated. We like to have our clients be educated and your audience be educated. So of course, keep gathering knowledge, right? Any new bill that passes, we read it thoroughly to see how it's going to affect our world and how it's going to affect our clients ultimately and viewers and EV drivers in general, right? Because it's not just about us, it's overall the change that we're making in the environment with electric vehicles.
I love it. So number 4 is you can't install a Tesla wall connector in an older house. What do you think about that?
That's I want to say again that we're back to the 99-to-1 rule. Is exactly the same one with the monitoring system, right? So that one kind of answered that. Yes, you can install it in an older home, and I have plenty of times. As long as we can keep people safe, that's all that matters, right? That's what you want, a licensed electrician that's basically signed up to keep people safe. That's our job, is to keep people safe. Yeah. If you read our bylaws correctly, that's exactly what every code in the code book is written for, is to keep people safe. So yeah, you can absolutely do it in an older home. Some older homes can actually handle the load, but obviously if you have a professional assess the situation and see if it's an older breaker that might not function properly, then replace that main breaker. You don't have to fully upgrade the panel if you don't have to, or you don't have the funds for it. Yeah. But there's ways to keep people safe, and obviously the Tesla monitoring system that I mentioned earlier is exactly the way to go.
Yeah, because probably there's people out there that have experienced, like, they'll get a quote from an electrician and the electrician will just automatically go to say, like, oh, you just need to replace your whole panel, it's an older house. But you can figure out, you have different ways to finagle that, to figure out solutions and not before replacing the whole panel.
That's what we pride ourselves on, taking on all the Edison jobs that we do, because it helps the low-income community. We're big on that, right? We understand not everybody has the same means, not everybody has the same type of money lying around, and we want everybody driving electric vehicles because it's better for the environment. So ultimately, if we can help these low-income families, or even if it's not low-income but you're on a tight budget, find solutions to be able to charge from home without having to break the bank.
Love it. So I'm going to ask you any other myths that you kind of heard about there that you've probably from customers and like that. But before we get into that, number 5 is going to be all Tesla wall connectors require a professional installation.
That's a good one. So Tesla does have a program to be a Tesla certified contractor. Once you're on that site, we have direct access to the firmware of the charger, so we can commission it. Therefore, it's able to openly talk to the Tesla network. It registers it on their network and notifies Tesla that it has the 4-year warranty. Now, there's other electricians that can do it. Even the homeowners can go download the Tesla One app, but it's not the same thing as us doing it, because it activates a 4-year warranty. So everybody gets a 1-year warranty, like anything you buy from any store, including Best Buy, Amazon, and all these other stores. But to get the 4-year warranty, you want to be able to certify it. So yes, to get the maximum value for your Tesla charger, you want a Tesla certified installer to install it.
Yeah, because that's massive. Like an extra 3 years, that's worth, like, I mean, it's not even that much more, I feel like. I mean, I have heard, like, I don't know, what's the lowest, like, you've heard handyman quote, like $200, $300?
300 is the lowest I've heard quote.
So
yeah, so I mean, it's about
a little bit more.
A little bit more, yeah, exactly. But you're paying a little bit more for insurance, a little bit more for professionalism, you're paying a little bit more for peace of mind. Like, you're right, exactly, that's just it. You can sleep well at night knowing that a professional installed your charger. Yeah. So that makes a huge difference.
I love it. Any other myths you want to debunk as a pro electrician, Tesla authorized?
Yeah, of course, man. That all electrical is the same. I've done plenty of this work before. The typical handyman notion that they can make anything work, right? We feel that it's not true. EVs are a little bit different. Some manufacturers are actually starting to update their requirements for their wiring, just because they already ran into all the stuff that me and you talked about back in the day. Is people don't understand that industrial setting, 8 hours of continuous loads is different than your 1 to 2 hours that's written in the residential rules. And obviously, us coming from that background, we already carried that with us, and now kind of know that eventually they're starting to catch up to it.
Interesting. So they're starting to realize the wire is not thick enough, and these are probably like installations years ago, and now they're saying, oh, the new standard is this. Exactly. But you already, because you came from commercial construction, you already had those type of wires going into it, because you wanted less headache. Future
no, of course. Yeah. And you read once you actually learn about industrial settings and learn about how it affects over 8 hours of use and the actual heat dissipation and how all that stuff happens, then you make those adjustments even when it applies to smaller stuff like EV chargers, because in the real world they're actually exactly the same thing, right? So yeah, these adjustments have been made quite a while ago, but now the manufacturers are starting to catch on to it. Mercedes was the first one that adjusted their charger to need higher wiring now.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Mario. And if you want to see his information, definitely check it out, link down below. And of course, ask for the Dennis deal so that he can hook you up as well. Mario has gotten me thousands of dollars and gotten plenty of my friends thousands of dollars as well. So definitely check it out, link down below in the description. And of course, to clarify, thousands of dollars for like panel upgrades and electric vehicle chargers as well. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, man.